Here to talk about this and other related items, we have Interim Police Chief Dietrich, Fort Lauderdale Police, and you may follow at Fort Lauderdale PD on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook as well. Chief Dietrich, how are you doing today?
I'm great, Brian. How are you?
Yeah, likewise, doing pretty well. So let's talk a little bit about the rollout of the vaccine. From a law enforcement standpoint, is there any type of protocol or any role that you'll end up playing in this?
You know, we've been told that Holiday Park may be a vaccine site, and the only thing that we'll really have to deal with there is managing the traffic and keeping the peace. Really, we've seen a lot of long lines there, so sometimes that gets people a little amped up and they get a little upset. So we're just there to keep the peace. We have heard about in other places a concern of vaccine trucks being, hijacked, so to say, and redirected. We haven't heard that coming here, but if we do, we're ready to provide escorts for that, just to get the vaccines where they're supposed to be to the appropriate sites.
Chief Dietrich, you just laid out something that's really interesting. So we know that this starts with basically a military operation with the federal government. How is the process as the vaccines are provided from the federal government to, I don't know, is it state or is it going to go directly to county and or municipal governments?
Yeah, I'm not really sure how they're going to roll it out. If it's anything like with FEMA and stuff like that, there'll be a staging site, and then from that staging site, there'll be a delivery to the different county or city locations, and that's where we're going to be concerned with. If there's a staging site where we have to go escort a truck in so to make sure that it gets into Fort Lauderdale, then we'll do that.
That makes a lot of sense. That would actually make me feel better about the situation for everybody at that point as well. Okay, so you talk about the long lines and everything else. One of my concerns related. Not even necessarily just the lines, but we know, for example, should the Pfizer vaccine be approved by the FDA today, we're getting 180,000 doses in this first shipment. And they are going to be distributed predominantly across 5 South Florida hospitals. And, the question is at that point, how many people in each area are going to be able to get them? And then relative to the demand, likely that demand is going to exceed the initial supply. How is it that we manage in a organized way people that might have high demand for the vaccine but might not be able to obtain it right away?
That's a very good question. I'm not really sure how to answer it. I know they have everything done in sections. The elderly are going to be in the first tier, and then healthcare workers and EMS in the second tier, and first responders in the third. I really don't know how that's going to work out, but we're definitely going to have to be the ones keeping the peace. Understood.
And I'll follow up with the officials who are responsible for making those specific decisions with those questions as we get there. Now, related to scams, we've heard, the Attorney General Ashley Moody said 3,000. She cited an Interpol report saying there are 3,000 identified scams that are active related to vaccines. Some that are going to try to sell bogus vaccines, others that are saying, hey, we can set an appointment for you to be able to get a vaccine. Just give us all your personal information. We'll get you booked. Those types of things, in addition to the texting, the phone calls, and any number of other email. Anything specific in Fort Lauderdale that you've come across at this point?
Not specific, but we have set up a fraud line or a scam line for Fort Lauderdale. If anybody gets a call or something just doesn't seem right, and it doesn't just have to be for the vaccines, because 'tis the season to pull on people's heartstrings through the phone. So they can call 828 scam in our city and report anything that just doesn't seem right. But nobody's going to call and ask you for your personal information, especially with a vaccine. Nobody should be giving vaccines out of their house. These are just kind of common sense things. Go to a site. Don't go to somebody's house. Don't give your information over the phone. Nobody's going to charge for this and ask your credit card number, anything like that. If it just doesn't sound right, it's probably not right. Don't do it.
And, I was talking a little bit with the mayor about this yesterday, but about businesses and compliance, and he's talking about the war. What are the current guidelines? What's being enforced by law enforcement as it pertains to any related restrictions, especially as we head towards the peak of the holiday season?
Well, like I said before, code does all of those restrictions, and they enforce them. Right now, they're still enforcing the facial coverings, the social distancing, the COVID signage that's required in businesses, and occupancy requirements. Again, they're holding the businesses accountable, not really the individuals.
Okay, understood. Well, Chief Dietrich, it has been a real pleasure, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday season. May God bless you and everybody who serves with you.
Thank you. Same to you, Brian.
Interim Police Chief for Fort Lauderdale, Karen Dietrich.